everyone. Thank you to our November meeting, guys. So this is our November meeting. Thank you. Just for announcement, soon after this meeting, you will look for it on our main. Yeah. Hey, want to be, and it makes this job easier. Okay. So, do we have any new members or visitors tonight? Yes.
My name is Carl Brostrand. This is my wife Susie. We came to the last meeting and then just joined. Yeah, it's the hair, man. It does it with everybody. But yeah. So we're excited to be here and see what we can do and help out. So
Great. And you tried with Bruce for Santa Claus, so hey, it's about time you had some competition. Well, yeah, actually, you do look a bit like. I don't know if some of these younger people knew who Jerry Garcia is, but yeah, you're kind of going there. All right, well then, Rocky, I'm going to turn it over to you to begin our program, and I'll talk some other business at the end of the meeting.
Darcy Howard is going to talk about Vera Rubin and the Vera Rubin telescope that are making headlines. But so she's doing a Dead Astronomer. Because I think she died.
13, I think she passed away in 2013. It hadn't been too long ago. Yeah, we were. I've got a couple of announcements before I start this. I need a volunteer to put out signs for the Woolly Hollow State Park next Saturday. I've got a batch of them here. They won't stick in the ground, but they've got little easel things on them that you can just set them up, and it really helps people because in the dark you don't know where you're going. So talk to me afterwards about this. And number 2, would anyone be interested in an after Christmas, New Year's time frame of help with your new telescope that you got for Christmas? I was thinking about offering one of these as an informal event at the Rooker Library. Okay. Okay. Yay, we're in. I'll get that scheduled with Rooker then. And I'm doing something new. I'm talking to Carl's going to help me. We're going to talk to the Space Club at the Bryant Library. This is Bryant. Yeah, it's Bryant, one we hadn't been to. Yeah, Cricket Road. So we have been visiting a lot of libraries and having a good result of people being interested in seeing the library telescopes. Okay, did you see the beaver moon, the hunter moon? Wasn't it gorgeous? We had about 35 people at the Maumelle Library, and it was a beautiful night for that. We were having. I'm glad you said that. well, I've lost my props. Okay. If you take a dime and hold it up at the rising point of the moon and check how big it is and then hold it up against the dime, you're almost sure it's going to be smaller. People don't believe this. That's part of the moon illusion. And that's the one way you can explain it. If somebody asks you, says, why does the moon look so big? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's called course. Uh, yeah. Uh, well, since we're talking about the moon rising, do any of y'all remember a time when the rising moon surprised you? Yes, it came up here or there and it was big and you didn't know what it was or just surprised you? No? Well, I remember when I was a little kid, I saw it just coming right up over the horizon, and we were in our car. We've been going somewhere. I said, Mom, what is that? And she says, it's the moon, but it's so big. And she explains that no, they're still about the same size. It just looks real big because it's down there. That's my next thing here because no, perfect segue. Thank you for introducing that. If you want to go to the next slide, Vera Rubin. I read a biography of about her a couple of 3, 4, 5 years ago. I only remember 2 things from it, and one of the things that she said when she was little, the family was going to some other kinfolk's house, and she was watching the moon, and she says, "Dad, why is the moon following us?" And so he kind of explained about how big the moon was, and I don't remember the entire what he said, but then she says, "Well, how does the moon know the way to Bubba's house?" So I don't think there was a that, but that's one of the things that I remember from that book. And the other thing I remember about her that she was nice and considerate enough to other people around her that when she was writing papers, she gave credit to graduate students, and that was unheard of at that time. So, okay, next one. Well, you might be seeing more about her in your pocket here pretty soon because they minted a quarter series and it was released right before Misrule because we were going to try to get some of the coins. Yeah, that was going to be the memento, but well, I went to the bank this week and I got 10 rolls of quarters and looked through them, and I didn't find a Vera in that. And there's both mint marks, Philadelphia and San Francisco, but I didn't see one. That doesn't mean that they're not out there, but you might be seeing, huh? All in Denver. Okay. She became interested in astronomy about age 14 and built a telescope. Her dad helped her. Is that about the age y'all started building telescopes? Yeah, so we share a lot of things. Well, her parents were from Ukraine. They were immigrants. And her dad learned electrical engineering as an adult, and he went to work for Bell Telephone. And that's where he met her mom, who was also an immigrant from that area. And so she had family that supported her interests, and she had a scholarship to Vassar. She was the only astronomy graduate. She got her master's degree from Cornell. Now, Cornell isn't or wasn't known for its astronomy program at that time, but it had a heck of a physics program. Some of the people who were her mentors were Richard Feynman, Philip Morrison, Hans Beta. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, and hey, come on in. And she married a mathematician from Cornell, and that was one of the reasons that she wasn't admitted to Princeton, because they weren't allowing women, because the women would always get married and move away. And it was 1975 before Princeton started admitting women to their school. And she went to work for the Carnegie Institute. Can you, okay, that's it, yeah. And there she partnered with Kent Ford. And I wasn't familiar with him. He was an instrument designer, and he was known for building an image intensifier, or an image tube intensifier. I think this was some of the early digital kinds of things. And they did an enormous amount of work together. And what she specialized in was rotation of galaxies. Sir? I didn't. Right. Yes. And they still have them, and I don't. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So together they worked on the Andromeda Galaxy and dozens of other galaxies. And let's see, you want to go to it? Yeah, this is what she was doing. And considering the way our solar system is, which is the faster planets? Which ones? The inner or outer? Inner. Everybody's got that. The slow ones are outer. So you kind of think that, what is this? Newton's laws of gravity, Kepler, one of those. And so they were expecting these stars on the outer part of the galaxy to go slower, and the ones going inside faster. But they didn't. And they measured, and they measured again, and they kept measuring. And it was the stars on the outer part of the galaxy were going the same speed as the ones on the inner side. And so what would cause this? What causes things to stay together in a group? Well, it's gravity. So something in gravity, what was happening here that were making these stars go at the same speed as the inner ones? And Fritz Zwicky in the 1930s had proposed something like dark matter. And she wrote her thesis on that. It wasn't particularly well received. Some of what she had thought was later disproven, but the big part of it was that this Mr. Ford, Dr. Ford, I guess, the instrument partner of hers, they had the Rubin Ford rule or law, or however I didn't write that down. Effect? Okay. Good, and I can't see my slide. So what this amounted to was that this data that they had found out, and it was independently confirmed by others, it changed the scientific view of the universe, and it opened up all these new paths in astronomy and physics. And they published that paper in 1976, and she kept working, and she passed away. I believe it was in 2016. Okay, I'm glad y'all can see that. Anyway, so yes, that was Margaret. It starts with a B. Uh, yeah, yeah. She worked with a lot of people. Yeah, yes, it was. And it's hard to be a pioneer as a woman in a man's world, that they finally accepted her. So fittingly, a revolutionary new observatory was named after her. And the observatory has a giant digital camera, and it takes videos. And it would be really silly for me to try to show you still pictures of videos, So there's a fella on YouTube who's done a much better job than I would have been able to do. And I've got a 6 or 7 minute clip on this, and we p- yeah, I think Sean's. We have to be nice to Sean. That's the little bit though. The other one, this was not good.
If you watch my video, it's like science person talking about
Can you step through escort this?
there's a talk of pseudotaxon today. This observed to just have just edit out this camera from science. This is just the beginning. You did so well balancing both my career and motherhood. It's speaking of the time that I didn't they say moving exercise part of what makes moving is that space is so tight where you can find it help on space and I will to avoid it to a weather you might need to just need to exactly why they didn't say it to you giving it one of the best never know places only about alone. The area is also home to several other observatories, including the Southern Astrophysical Research Telescope, the N.I.N.A South Observatory, Giant Magellanic Telescope, and the European Large Telescope. This location has proven itself interestingly, the observatory is run by a major space agency like NASA or ISRO. Instead, it's funded by the United States National Science Foundation and the Department of Energy. It's managed by the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy. Inside the Rubin Observatory is the N.I.N.A Survey Telescope, which became the seventh largest telescope in the world when it was completed. Its primary mirror spans 8.4 meters with a 3.5 meter secondary mirror, but tries to be very close. What makes it truly unique is its clear body moving mirror. Most telescopes use a two mirror system to focus light and correct optical distortion that can come from the curve of the mirror. It's the one Sterling telescope uses three, meaning it makes a short, very sharp view. Attached to the end of this powerful telescope is a equally effective camera to record with the telescope's speed. It's the largest camera ever constructed, measuring about 3 meters long and 1.6 meters wide, designed to capture ultraviolet, visible, and near infrared light using robotic arms. It's built in front of the sensor. Named after the legacy generator states in time, or the SST, which is the vertical that is by data. The LSST data is made up of 118 million individual pieces, fitted with 3 large huge lenses. Each exposure covers 10 square degrees of the sky, within 2/3 of the performance. That is quite a wide angle of visibility. One single image of the area of the sky equals to about experience. If you compare the stats to previous surveys like the Slow Digital Sky Survey, the LSST essentially did every 3 days what SDSS took 20 years to do. SDSS steadily built up in that covering 35% of the sky over its 20-year run. Visible sky in the southern hemisphere. 7 in the duration of the LSST is not strictly to cover a wide area of the sky. Building up the significant time-lapse movie of the changing sky, and tracking this focus on the time before. By any sky survey, LSST is making up for everything in the sky. However, it does have 4 main scientific goals: to investigate dark matter and dark energy, to catalog solar system objects like asteroids and comets, and the transient events like supernovae, variable stars, memory bursts, and stars within the day. Surveys like Gaia, Pan-STARRS, Jessie, and Sloan lead the way. But Rubin was confused earlier. For example, it's expected that data from Rubin allows to identify millions of new explorers, vastly expanded creating a data set unlike anything we've ever had before. Luckily for us, we won't have to wait 10 years to see what we have in store. LSST will release images throughout the project, letting the world follow along and make discoveries of the world. As mentioned earlier, 30 images were released just in June 2025. These images represent the what you are now seeing is what we have 1,125 exposures within only 7 nights, shows the region of southern Virgo cluster, about 55 million years. Its closest known cluster of galaxies is Borrelli. Tragedy was named to be an astonishing lack of stars tonight.
And you're gonna loan it out. Okay, who's gonna take the signs to Woolly Hollow? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Now, Deepak Potty is gonna discuss, N.I.N.A. You can't hear it? N.I.N.A and, applications for N.I.N.A with, different telescopes and using them on a PC. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Um, so I'm not the most experienced one to talk about this. I recently started this, and we'll see some of the reason why I picked, why I continued with N.I.N.A. And I'd request please ask questions if you have anything, because most of the time I might not know it, but at least we will get the answers in that way when I can learn it. To start, we are going to discuss N.I.N.A. Okay, some of the topics that we are going to discuss is what is N.I.N.A and why it is so popular, comparison with ASI Air, what all you need to run it, because I feel the initial setup is a little bit, it has a lot of things to set up for the first time, but it's just one time. You don't have to do it every time unless you change your PC, obviously. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Why is it worth trying? And I'll show my workflow. Again, I don't use a lot of equipment, so it might be a good start point for everyone to see it, like what the things that I use and how I run my one night session with it. To begin, N.I.N.A. Yeah, the N.I.N.A stands for nighttime imaging and astro. Yeah, yeah, that's what it stands for. Nighttime imaging and astronomy. It's free. That's the main thing why I started with it. It's an open source program, so you are getting a lot of plugins, add-ons to it. Very effective because it's been developed by other people who are using whether the software or who are used to astrophotography. So you are getting a lot of stuff again for free, and it's open source. Another main thing, I try to compare wherever I can with ASI Air, because I know most of us use ASI Air or the whatever they call ASI Air Plus or something. But yeah, I try to compare why you might need to consider N.I.N.A if you are looking for other options. It integrates all your equipment. Some are here, cameras, mount, focusers, filter wheels, etc. But it can integrate more than that. Like it can integrate your domes, like if you have a visual dome and all. It can integrate control boxes. I'm not sure if ASI supports that or not, but there are a few things it will do compared to what ASI cannot. And again, it's community driven. So no, it's not. Yeah, we'll talk about that again. So it's not restricted to any one manufacturer. As long as your device, whatever you're using, it supports ASCOM drivers. Pretty much everyone will have it. And if you have an ASCOM driver, N.I.N.A will support it. Again, we'll discuss what that is and how you can use those. Why is popular? It's open source, it's free, it's not limited to one brand, as we just discussed. Plugin ecosystem, you have a lot of plugins, whether it is just for astrophotography or there are plugins for exoplanets and even comets and things like that. So you can use it for variety of reasons. Yeah, you can do it for longer sessions, mosaics, and you can just do your sequencing, you can plan your entire night, and N.I.N.A will do it by itself. You don't have to even present at your gear to change the um, setups or things. So it can just, you can configure multiple targets for the same night, and it'll scroll through all of those. Okay, this is where it's a little bit complicated. It's not like ASI Air where you just plug in and it's done. So you need few things before you start N.I.N.A. As of now, it is Windows only program, I believe, and you can use it on laptops or mini PCs. So mini PCs, for those who don't know, it's just again same small PC like an ASI Air. You either mount it on your telescope or somewhere, and you can remotely access it with your laptop or even with your mobile. They recently launched these two options, Touch and Star and Cygnus, where you can use N.I.N.A on Android, iPad, or iPhones. Again, it has to have a laptop or a PC uh, that drives it, but you can access it remotely through your phone or your laptop. ASCOM platform, again, so N.I.N.A is a software. It talks to all your devices. Just think like it's one hub which talks to your camera, your mount, your guiding, your focuser, the rotator, whatever, right? It talks to them. How it talks, it uses the ASCOM platform. Every device we are using with astrophotography will have an ASCOM platform driver installed. I mean, driver supported. So that's how that's how N.I.N.A talks to all the devices. You need drivers for pretty much everything that you use: camera, mount, EF, your focuser, or the filter wheel thing, or the control hub or a power hub. Anything you use, you need to have a driver installed. Um, Plate solving, again, as I said, it's completely automated program, so it will do a plate solve for you. But again, N.I.N.A needs to know how to run the plate solve, or how to check the star database, and that's where we are using ASTAP. There are other options, but whatever I have learned so far, ASTAP is the best to go for. You can set up like two options. You can say, okay, check with ASTAP first. If you don't, then check with another backup plate solver. 90% of the time, ASTAP will work. What are the things you need? You need PhD2. This is for guiding. PhD2 stands for Push Here Dummy version 2. Pretty interesting name when I learned about it. And I believe ASI, yes, Push Here Dummy, yeah, and version 2, yeah. So it's very simple. It looks, yeah, it has a lot of yeah, it has a lot of controls and all, but it's pretty simple once you get hold of it. And I believe we will see the screenshots and how you use PSD2. I don't think ASI Air has all those controls, but I think ASI Air uses PSD2 in the behind the screens. Yes, has its own version of it. Right. So when you see the screens, if you are a ASI user, it'll look very familiar to you. But as we are directly using the tool itself, you have a lot of control over it. And N.I.N.A has a lots of plugins. These are some of the things that are pretty famous, and I use them. 3-point polar alignment is a polar alignment tool. You don't even need North Star or Polaris on your view. Even if you have a tree there, you can point it to any part of the sky and do the polar alignment. I'm sure ASI has similar thing. Yeah, they do. Oh, well, I'm not sure, but okay. Okay, and it has another plugin called Orbitals. I know Robert does a lot of exoplanets, variable stars, and comets. So Orbitals is the plugin where you can find all these comets, planets, or even our solar system objects. Yeah, there is another plugin for exoplanet and variable stars. And Hocus Pocus, I don't use it, but if you use a electronic autofocuser, this is a great tool. I don't use it, so I might not talk a lot about it, but very high level, you can set up like when you are guiding or your main camera looks at the piece of the field of view, you have a lot of stars, and you don't want very bright stars or very faint stars to to be considered when you are running your EAF. Those are the things that you can set with Hocus Pocus. So you can limit what kind of starts you want to use for your focus and other options to have your autofocus work better. Any questions so far? Okay, again, you can just Google it, but I thought of just putting it here. These are the things that you need to install before you run N.I.N.A. Get whatever is the most recent version you have on these. ASCOM platform, this is the main link where you can find your ASCOM drivers for pretty much all cameras, mounts, and other things. Even, for example, if I'm using a ZWO camera, they will let you download the driver. So that is in the ASCOM standards, it'll work. But if you don't find something, that you can get it from here. ASCOM platform, I think you have to install the platform itself first, and then the other drivers after it. ASTAP, there is a next slide, we'll talk about it. And as I said, PHD2. So ASTAP is for plate solving, and that's what it stands for, Astrometric Stacking Program. It has a lot of use. I don't know all of the use, but when you install ASTAP, this is the screen you will see. So obviously you have to install one of these. So the program installer, the second column, is what is the main program that you need to install. And as a, like anything like you install on a Windows computer, right? So once you install, you choose wherever you want to install program files, blah, 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 and all, right? So that is going to be your executable directory. Why I'm mentioning it, we will see in later slides. Sorry? This is for plate solving. Just for plate solving. Yes, it has a lot of features, but we are not going to use all of those. So this is the executable file you will install into one directory and point N.I.N.A to that directory. So anytime it sees a piece of the sky, it try to do plate solve using that piece of program. Now compare it against what? So you need a database to compare it. That is where all this comes. Okay. That's where all these databases come. And this shows like your degree of view or your field of view. And then that's what you download. I think D50 or D20 is more than enough, whether you are using a wide angle lens. If you are using really wide angle, like a 14mm or something, then you might need to pick another database because your field of view is very wide. But for most of the telescopes, D20 or D50 will work. So all you have to do, just install that, click that particular thing, download and install it. Quick comparison with ASI Air. ASI Air is just mobile, whereas N.I.N.A can run on mobile and Windows. Supports all kind of cameras, all mounts, as long as it is ASCOM supported mount. Automation, we'll talk some of these. So you can do multi-target, conditions, plugins. It's an advanced automation option versus ASI Air has very simplified one. Setup time, it does take a little bit longer time to make N.I.N.A ready for your very first session. Even on your every session, it takes a little longer than ASI Air, at least for me. So maybe with experience, it might be quicker, or maybe because I'm setting up my gear every single time I'm shooting it. But if you're doing it from your home where your equipment is not moving much, it should be similar to ASI Air, I believe. Again, cost, it's N.I.N.A is free, but you have to pay for your ASI Air devices and all. Why I started with N.I.N.A, thanks to Danny, he's the one who taught me about it first. And then I started doing more research. I didn't mind to get into the ASI route because when I started, I had nothing. I mean, it's okay if I can buy ASI cameras, but then I realized there are more and more stuff down the line. You need a focuser or a filter wheel, blah, blah, whatever. And then my main selling point for me was my Sony. So I'm a Sony user. Anyone using Sony, you will have hard time connecting to ASI Air. They don't have a whatever the platform driver or whatever. Sony cameras cannot connect to ASI Air. They recently sent an update where you can tweak your camera a little bit that it can recognize it, but I didn't want to get into all that. So that's my main reason when I started it. When I started it, I was just shooting with my Sony. I didn't had an Astro camera. So it's, if you are someone who is from DSLR moving into ASIR, I think this is a really good option to try. Again, it's flexible, it's constantly improving. You will get more and more options, obviously. I mean, right now it has a lot of options, and I'm surprised it's still free. Um, so there is a lot of community, a lot of videos on YouTube, and that's how I learned. But yeah, great alternate to ASIR. Okay, so we'll talk about N.I.N.A. So these are the stuff that you might need to do when you are doing installing N.I.N.A for the first time. At this point, the assumption is you have already installed N.I.N.A, you have installed PHT2, ASTAP, and all that. You have already done all that. This is the first time you are opening, double clicking and opening the screen for N.I.N.A. I would start here. So you have two sections. One is your main section, and then once you click it, you will have another subsection. So right now we are at the options and general tab, and these are where you do your profile. So if you have multiple gear or multiple rigs that you use, you can create a profile for each of those. So it's easier to select whichever you do, whichever you're using on that night. If you have more than one profile, like I have five five of them, I guess. So when you double click and open N.I.N.A, it will tell you which one to pick, or you can set one as default. But this is what you do on a profile. We'll just go through all of these and learn about the profile. So first one is going to be, you can name it. Like I'm talking about this general section. You can name it the way it's more meaningful to you, like description, name, font and all is just because of these designs, how you want. And you have different color schemes to choose from. I think this is the default one. I never played with all that. The things that are highlighted are the ones that you need to pay attention to. So obviously you need to give all those details, and then your site um, coordinates and your site elevation. This is for our observatory. Next is going to be your equipment. Again, remember, this is, you are going to do it for every single rig or every single equipment you are planning to shoot. So for this one, once you do your telescope name and focal length, focal ratio doesn't matter. I don't know why it's there, but focal length, you need to provide the correct focal length. If you are using a focal reducer and all, this has to reflect that. So you might need to create multiple. It's better to create multiple profiles if you are using a reducer on one of your scopes. Mount name and settle time. So once it's loose, depending on your mount, you might need to give it some pause or a wait time before it does something else. So mine is set to 5 seconds. And few other things like your coordinate syncs. So I'm using an AVX mount. So I enter my information on the hand controller and connect it to N.I.N.A. If the time might not be 100% correct on my hand controller. So I have this sync on, so it will automatically sync with my laptop. Filter wheel, I don't have it, but if you have, you can set your position and name the filters. Whatever, like monochrome, if you're doing monochrome, RGB, light, um, yeah, HA and all, you can configure and you can do the position, which position on your filter wheel is what you can configure it here. Autofocus, again, I don't use it, but these are the default settings that you get with N.I.N.A. If you use Hocus Pocus, then you get more options. I don't use it, so I don't know anything to talk about it, but something I know, like backflash, there is a way to calculate how much your backflash you have on your EAF unit, and you can configure those here. Someone who is using you might know more about this, but I don't. Yeah, manually. So on imaging, until I go to bed, I just keep an eye on the HFR value. If it goes more than 10%, I go and manually check it. If I'm not present, if it goes out of focus, luck, I guess. I don't have a dome screen, but yeah, you can configure your dome parameters if you have one. Next is the one time. for each gear. Yes. Yes. You don't have to because it's already there. The profile you select, yeah, the profile you select is already there. Imaging, I feel, is one of the main options we need to check. You can set up your meridian flip timing and what else? Yeah, these are the naming conventions where the file will be saved, and these are the options that you have. So right now, my files are going to be like, it'll create a folder with the date under N.I.N.A. N.I.N.A has a main folder like this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's under C, user, OneDrive, pictures, N.I.N.A, and then it'll create a date based on the date I'm shooting. Then because I'm shooting light, it'll just do light, and then give, you can pick whatever parameters you want from this list. One thing I just realized, I use zero, and they need the folder names to be lights in plural, lights, darks, and this one is light, so I have to change it to S. Otherwise, every time I copy, I have to rename my folder. But yeah, that's something where you can change it. Okay, next option is your plate solving. Again, I think it's been placed here because this depends on your focal length. If you have a really wide focal length, then you might need to change your plate solving options. And this is what I was talking about. You have two options. You have a plate solver and then a blind plate solver. Basically, it'll try to plate solve with ASTAP. If it fails, it'll pick your second plate solver. What are the other options? These are the other plate solvers that you can select from. Astrometry, local plate solver 2, 3, and ASTAP obviously is one of them. And there are a few other options. So anything, if you're planning to use, for example, plate solve 2 or plate solve 3, you need to install those and direct N.I.N.A to those folders. There is a documentation about it, how to do that. But it's similar to what ASTAP does. So what I have done, both of my solvers are ASTAP, and I'm giving that ASTAP location where I installed in my PC. And that's it. These are like default. I didn't change anything, but this is the only thing that you need to change. Okay, so this is another setting where you we will see how you do your 3-point polar alignment or plate solving, but these are the parameters are being used. So my default exposure is 2 seconds, gain is 120, and number of attempts is 10. Yes. Yes, right now I'm planning to get a mini PC because right now it's the bunch of cables are dangling to my laptop. It's causing issues. So yeah, that's my next. Uh-huh. Mini PC. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to get. Yeah. Yeah, and then I can purchase, it has enough ports. I don't need another hub, but you can purchase this. SB Pony has a port, like a USB hub that you can purchase and use that. You definitely need one computer. So if you're using mini computer, you can run N.I.N.A off of it. But obviously you need a screen to see what's happening. So either you use a laptop or a phone or iPad. Sorry. Okay, so a little bit about plugins. There are again two options, installed and available. I'm just on the installed plugin that I have installed so far. Advanced API is Advanced API and Touch and Star are the ones that recently they launched. This lets you use your N.I.N.A on an iPad or a phone. And these are other available plugins. I just highlighted one, Exoplanet, and you can read about it. And all plugins may have an option to configure, not pretty much everything, but if there is an option to configure, you can do that on here when you install it. And this is how you install it on the top. And if you have updates, it will give you like on your install, you will have a number like 1 or 2 saying those many updates are available. So this is all about your N.I.N.A for the first time, and same you have to do for PhD 2, and this is guiding. I know it might look too much, but this is just one time you're doing. You don't have to do it every single time. So it's just once, and you don't even have to do it at the field. just do it at your home during a daytime or something. Yeah, PhD2, as I said, you might have already installed it. So very first time when you open PhD2, it will ask you to create a profile. So basically, there are a lot of options. I didn't put screenshot for all. Only these two are the ones that we mainly need. The other options, you can just click next, next. I mean, you don't have to change anything. Guide camera, you can pick your own camera, and most likely it will populate the pixel size and all these options. But if not, just make sure it's correct. Guide scope focal length you have to enter, obviously. And when you do next, I think it asks for 2, 3 options. I don't even know what those are, but you have to give your mount details. So pick your mount. I just got this screenshot off of Google, I guess, but for me, it will show you like a Celestron mount. To On this list, you will have Celestron on here to pick. Mhm. Yes. Yeah. Uh, I don't know if I have screenshot of those or not. In in PhD2, you can run. There is something called a guiding assistant. It's in the one of the menu bars. I don't have a screenshot, I believe, but you run your guiding assistant, and PhD2 runs it for some time, at least for 15-20 minutes, I believe. After that, you can stop that, and it will throw a list of settings that it thinks you should use. And if you have some issues with your mount, it will show graphs. Those graphs will not be properly aligned if you have an issue. So that's how you can identify, and that will tell you what aggressiveness to use. That's in PhD2. Yeah. And I feel, again, I might be wrong. These are the stuff that you can do directly with PhD2, which you cannot do it with ASI, unless you know what setting to use. Right. Yeah. So once you do all this, create your profile name. This is what I have created mine. Give something that is meaningful. Why? As of now, I have 2 guiding setups. So if I just give random names like test 1, test 2, I don't know what is what. So obviously give some meaningful names. Okay, so we'll see some of my workflow, and all that we have discussed now is a one-time setup that you have to do only once per gear, per your equipment, whichever you have. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going on every single night when I'm shooting. So at this point, these are basic common things like, tripod level, scopes, everything is attached, counterbalanced, all the cable wiring is done, rough polar alignment is done. So I just the AVX mount has a way to do polar alignment. I just don't do it. I just point it to north and set it like the mount is aligned. You don't even have to do a polar alignment. Just a specific my scenario, AVX does not talk to N.I.N.A unless it is polar aligned. So I just rough do something like, just do my last alignment or something. It's nowhere polar aligned, but I just tell the mount that think it is polar aligned, and then we'll start talking to N.I.N.A. Yeah, yeah, that one was missing. Yeah, because that happened with me. So yeah, I was. Um, okay, so I'm not going with all of these, but at this point, all your equipment is ready and you're going to shoot. So once that, this is my first thing to do. I go to, again, we are on the same screen. We were in options and plugins. Now we are at the equipment. So this you have to do on every night. Again, I have to do it because I am setting up on every single night. But if you have a permanent setup, the mount is ready, then again, you don't have to do all of these. Just click this one button, it will click all of, sorry, it will connect all the equipments. Because I'm just using only few, I just go to each of those and connect it. So for camera, these are the ones you see. Again, I don't know if any Sony users, there is a plugin that you have to specifically install. Otherwise, Sony mirrorless will not be on here. So yours might look different. Once the camera is connected, this is how it looks. Again, it's a screenshot that I got out of internet. So it's not my information, but this is how it will look. So you can cool your camera and it'll tell you basic details like the cameras, pixels, and cooling power and default gain and stuff. So this is on camera. Once your camera is done, I'm skipping filter wheel and focuser because I don't have it. You go to rotator, and I don't have a rotator as well, but I do use manual rotator. Why? We'll talk about it more in the future slides. In this way, if you tell N.I.N.A that I have some kind of a rotator, then you can frame your shot and N.I.N.A will tell you to rotate it. Either use a manual rotator, a knob thing, or untighten your scope and rotate it depending on however you're doing. But you don't have to have a automated rotator to do this. You can just do manual and yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have that screenshot, but if you have the rotator as manual rotator, when you are framing, we'll see framing screen at least. It will tell, N.I.N.A will tell when it is slewing, N.I.N.A will tell you to rotate your camera 30 degrees counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. And you have to keep doing it. And I might have missed that screen somewhere, but there is an option where you set up your tolerance. I think it's on the imaging tab. So mine is set to 1 degree. So it will keep doing it until you are 1 degree accuracy to your to the angle that you are setting up in framing. Again, it'll make sense once we see that screen. But there's not much. You just do connect to manual rotator. Obviously, mount. This is my mount, Celestron. And once everything is connected, this is how it will look like. How you connect, again, you just drop down here and select your mount. I don't want to get too details into it, but it matters which COM port your mount is connected to your laptop or your PC. You have to do those in these settings, those gearboxes on top. Some of them need some setting changes, but it's not that complicated. So you just have to tell N.I.N.A that for mount, which COM port of your PC or mini PC that he has to look. Guiding, I'm using PhD2. So again, you drop down. There are other options. I don't remember what all, but you just pick PhD2. And this is important. This is what I was saying. I have a spelling mistake there. Ignore that. But you pick your correct profile that you created in PhD2. Yeah, and you can have your dither settings on here as well. I don't know if I show these again or not, but there are switch and flat panels, dome, weather, all these options are there. For weather, I think you have to pay some fees to get a particular API or some link, but N.I.N.A will connect to your local weather directly through that. Switch is, I think it's a power switch or a power hub that you can configure. I recently learned about SB has one, I think 241 Pro or something. So it is a power hub, but all the ports you can control it with N.I.N.A. For that, again, you have to download and install the particular driver for that equipment. Go here, configure it, and they will give you all the settings that you need. But you can automatically through N.I.N.A, you can power on or off something out of that power hub. That's where you can configure all of these. So as we just discussed about PhD2, this is what I do. Once this much task is done, I go to PhD2, and this is how the screen will look like for the first time. And you click that. That will give you your connect option. Again, you have to select your profile, whichever profile you have, and your camera and mount. Again, these are already configured in your profile window, so they will appear there by default. This is very important. I lost around an hour or something trying to figure out what went wrong. When I bought my guide camera, it was a ZWO camera, and my main camera is also ZWO. If you don't tell PhD2 which camera is your guide camera, it will pick whichever connected first. So the first time when I used it, yeah, so I was trying to do this, and it is trying to do its job. The N.I.N.A is trying to take an image, and they are, you know, then the camera is not responding to anyone. And I had no idea how to fix it. But what clicked is on this screen, I could see Eagle Nebula, which I didn't think I could see that with just a guide camera, and that's how I realized it. So you just go here, click that button, and it'll show you multiple cameras. If you have same brand like the ZWO, because the drivers are same, so it will show you two cameras, and click the one that you want to use it as a guide camera, and then connect it. Again, I just made up this because I don't have a screen print of that. Once you connect everything, click this button and stars will appear on your screen. And then this is your guiding. So once you click that, it will pick one guide star and it'll start guiding. There are YouTube videos. I don't want to get too details into it, but PhD2 supports multi-star guiding. So there is something like chasing your scene or whatever. If your seeing is bad, even though it is guiding on one star, it will show you a bunch of other stars. I think it picks 12 or something, 12 stars. You will see 12 green circles around all of the stars, even though it is guiding on one star. So that will kind of average out if you have a bad seeing. I'm not sure if it's the same as ASI or not, but okay, yeah, that was cool. The first time I learned about it, I was like, oh yeah, nice. Okay, once you start guiding, this is how it looks. So these are the settings that John, you were talking about, aggressiveness and hysteresis, minimum move, and these I don't change. I think these are default, but all these settings you can change if you want to. Based on what you change, your guiding will have a lot of impact. So be careful what you are changing. I didn't know about that. One night I was just sitting and keep on changing stuff. So I was all over the place on the graph. So, but yeah, this is PhD2. And this is another screen in N.I.N.A where PhD2 is connected. And you see the same graph here. So you don't have to keep jumping here and there. You will see the same stuff here too. Okay, now we are coming back to Sky Atlas. We were in equipment. Now the second tab. I never use this, but it's there if you want to. So you can just look based on your location. It will show you all the objects based on the size, moon, object type, constellations, and all that. And it will also tell you when it rises, when it sets during the night, and when it flips. Then either you can do it as a framing, you can go to framing or target resistance, but I don't use it because you directly go to framing, you have more options. Another thing, I don't know if you realized it, on the profile tab where we did the site properties like the longitude and site elevation and all, there is an option for your custom horizon. You can set that up here. If you do that, you will have a horizon line on here. So N.I.N.A knows when to shoot or when not to. If you have trees and all, there is a way how you can create your custom horizon and upload that file to N.I.N.A and it will consider it. Sorry? I have seen a video. I might not say it correctly now. So no, you just create an XML file or something. So you just hold your phone and take points. There is an app, I believe. I don't remember. I need to watch the video. But you take your phone up, take a note, and then just follow your horizon. Then make a .txt file or something, convert it to XML, and then upload it here. There is a YouTube video about it if you want to learn. I haven't done that. Okay, framing is where we will spend most of our time. So this is M31. You give your name and then load image. It will load the image. This is your field of view. What you see here is 15 degrees. The white line is my camera sensor. And in N.I.N.A, let's say you have like multiple equipment, multiple scopes. You don't have to go to each profile to try this. You can change these. So right now, these are my camera parameters and pixel size and focal length. I can make it to 600 millimeter, for example, if I want. I just want to see how my view will be 600 millimeters. So you can change any of those here. This is what I was telling. If you have a manual rotator, you can rotate it. So this will, your white thing will rotate and you can frame the scene the way you want. And when you say slew, center, and rotate, your N.I.N.A will tell you to rotate your gear if your manual rotator is turned on. Otherwise, it won't. Okay, so once you set up your framing, you go to add to target and then sequencer. And then these are, there are multiple sequencers. There is an advanced sequencer and a basic sequencer. We'll see both of those, how they are, we will look at it. But this is how you can add the target to your sequencer. So sequencer is a programmatic way of telling N.I.N.A how to take the shots and what to do. It's a series of commands that you do. We'll talk more about that later. Flats, this is for your flat. There are three options. Dynamic exposure is when you put a LED screen on your scope to take flats. Dynamic exposure, yeah. Dynamic brightness, I'm not sure what that is. Sky flats is obviously sky flats. And you can tell N.I.N.A to slew to Gina, like east or west, and take the flats. And this will also take dark flats for you. When you do this, these are some other settings. You can tell what's your minimum exposure and what's your max exposure to take your flats, and where you want your histogram to be. So mine, I have set at 35% with 10% of tolerance. So until it finds that it's not here, but oh yeah, you have the graph here. So it'll keep taking shots until it gets to 35% of tolerance. What do you mean rotate your frame? Yes. Yeah. Well, I take my flats all the time, like every session, at the end of the session. Yes. Yep. If you rotate it on the same night, yeah. If you change the framing, if you change the rotation and all, yes. Yep. Yeah. No. These are dark. I know it says darks, but these are dark flats or flat darks, whatever. Yeah. These are not the actual darks. Yeah. I do. I do it on every session. I don't know what's this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I skipped sequencer. We'll talk about it later, but imaging is another. Obviously, this is the main screen that you will look at every night. A few things I quickly go over. You can, all these sections like camera, mount, HFR history, sequencer, statistics, I'm sure you can see those cross marks. So these are all like windows. I just aligned in this way. You can drag and drop and put everywhere, anywhere you want. And on top are the stuff that you can add or remove from this view. So you can see imaging is on, my mount is on, but my filter wheel is off. So if I turn it on, I'll have another window somewhere in here. So you can just display or hide the stuff based on what you are using. This is the main area where you will see your images being taken. Obviously, the statistics and the histogram will be on there. Yeah, and these are more tabs based on your plugins and all. You may have more options here. So right now we are in the image option. I'll quickly show about the orbitals because this is how I took the Comet Lemon shot recently. So you install the orbitals plugin from the plugin wizard, and then it'll come over here. So on orbitals, you have these many options: comets, asteroids, unnumbered asteroids, and James Webb telescopes. Sorry. I think those are the targets of James Webb. I'm not sure it's pointed at the telescope itself or not. But yeah, you can update this directory And this screenshot is just for the commits. I updated my directory and it'll tell you when I did that. And oh yeah, and then you can look up the comment that you're trying to shoot, load, and it'll give you all the details about that comment. So this is just the top part of the screen, and scroll down, you will see more details. And then you do click frame. It'll take you back to the framing wizard that we just saw, and then follow the same steps that we did. Okay, this is 3-point polar alignment. Again, these are the default settings that I have set up at the plugin installer window. You can change it if you want to, or you can change and save the setting on your plugin, and it will save as a default. Manual mode is off because I want my mount to move by itself, and then I'm telling my mount to move 10 degrees each try. So it'll do that for 3 times, 3-point polar alignment. Well, yeah, it takes a picture where it was and then 2 more pictures. Okay. And you can say start from current position, or you can configure your custom position. Let's say you are taking shots from your backyard and you have houses all around the place. Only one part of the sky is clear. You can point the camera and take the coordinates of that portion of the sky and say just start from this position instead of just randomly pointing at a target. And once you do this, click the play button and it will start taking shots. And this is how it will look. Obviously, it will take 3 shots, and then it'll let you adjust your the the screws, the RA index screws. And once you are close to the error that you want, you can just stop it at the top. Few things, I don't know how correct these are, but I just recently learned when you are doing it, try not to cross meridian among the 3. When it's taking 1, 2, 3, make sure it doesn't cross meridian in that. That's, I don't know, I just learned it somewhere. Maybe it doesn't work correctly. So try not to cross meridian. I think, I don't know where I watched it, but that person said when it's taking 1, 2, 3 shots, those 3 shots that should not cross meridian. It has to be either one side of the meridian. Oh yeah, it might do it as well. I try not to do it because I just watched it in some video. And another, maybe a tip, I don't know, but if your initial error was high, like very high, you need to do it at least twice. So you first rough align it and then stop it and then do another 3-point alignment again. Only if your initial errors were like really, really high. You have to move the mount too much, then it's better to do it twice or even thrice. It will. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, it won't give you a smiley face, but yeah. Well, I, yeah, no graphics here. Well, I wish at least it should have changed to green, because first time when I did, I didn't know whether it is bad or good. I kept doing it, and I don't know who it was, Danny or I don't know, Jim. Someone said that's enough. You don't need to go to that correctly, because it was red. I mean, I was like, okay, it's bad. Yeah, and I'm using a 135 millimeter focal length, so it's more than enough for that. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. And And when you are doing it, if you took a really long time, N.I.N.A will throw you a warning saying you took way more to correct it, so rerun 3-point alignment again. If you're trying to correct it for a longer time, it'll throw you an error. Yeah. Mhm. Right. Yeah. Okay, so the sequencer tab, this is a simple sequencer. It's just few settings, like you can say, if you have multiple filters, you can set up here, whether you are lights, darks, or flats, whatever you can set up here. So this is what will be used on your folder structure. And then your filters and how many you want, how many shots. And I think there should be an option to, yeah, dither for every one frame. So this is a very simpler sequence. This is how Nina started. Huh? No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm just showing. This is not even my screen. Yeah, yeah, this is not even my screen. And then you can save your target. Sorry, save your settings so that if you want to shoot the same target next night, you can do that. This is where Nina started with. It's a simple sequencer. No one uses this anymore. So we are using an advanced sequencer. If you remember on the framing wizard, I clicked sequence and then picked my custom sequence. This is how it looks. I won't go into too detail. It's pretty simple. It's drag and drop. It looks intimidating, but it's not something that you have to program it. Just drag and drop from here. Each advanced sequencer contains mainly 3 sections: start, your target sequence, and there will be another end sequence we will see at the bottom. So the only 3 main sequences. And you can have your start, like, unpark the mount, cool it down and all that. I do it manually, so I don't have anything in there. But once you come from the framing wizard, it already will have everything populated in this area. And you just give a meaningful name and save it if you want to try the same thing again and again, because it holds the rotation and obviously the array and deck coordinates of that target. These are the main instruction sets. So an instruction set, you can just click it and drag and drop. You'll get a bunch of stuff that is meaningful for that instruction. You might not use all that. You can delete it, but I have kept mine very simple, but this can get very complex depending on what you're doing. So this is a deep sky. So yeah, that's a deep sky instruction set. Again, if you follow it, it's really easy. So I just added a exposure setting, and I'm saying do a meridian flip. Anytime you see this red warning marks, meaning those equipments are not connected. So I just took a screenshot, but you won't see this. At least this is a nice way to know if things are connected or not before you start your shoot. It will do a meridian flip, and then there is a looping condition. I'm telling it, Nina, to keep doing the stuff until you get to the astronomical dawn. And under that, again, you have slew, center, and rotate. Yeah. After the images flip after meridian, but your rotation, it won't ask you to rotate your camera again to fix it. Nina knows it. Yeah, it will be upside down. Yes, after the flip. But the stacking softwares can handle it. Yeah. And this is why you can do a slew and center outside, but this is why you need to put it under meridian flip, because after meridian, Nina will tell the mount to again reframe it. So that's why it is under that trigger condition. And yeah, after that, again, after the flip, you need to start guiding, and then this is your sequential set where you are telling Nina to take 140 exposures, 300-second each, light. And why I'm telling this, you can add multiple of these if you have multiple filters. So Nina will change the filter and keep taking these shots. Yeah. Well, I randomly I shot. Yeah, I placed. Okay. The reason why I did this, I had few number of shots in my mind, and you don't have to do it in the same night. So I did everything, saved it. Next night when I came and opened it, this is what happened. So maybe the first night it took 21 shots, so that's where it stopped. So from today onwards, it'll start taking 22 and all. And this is where if you have a multiple targets, this is how you do it. So you do this for one target and then add another target. You can say like 10 images of this target, then switch it to your other target. And these are the two great resources for learning Nina. Patriot Astro, this guy has ton of videos, like 2 hour long each. I have watched a lot of videos from him when I started it. Quiv, the Lazy Greek, he has a lot of good videos as well, if you want to look into it. Who? Oh, Patriot? Or oh, oh wow. Well, yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, and he's taking shots from the middle of Tokyo. One thing I quickly need to show. Oh, how do I share it again? When I did this presentation, after that, Nina added a new option to have smart telescopes, for example, C-Star, to connect to it. I'm just trying, I don't have screenshots for that, but I'll show you what all you can do with it. All this obviously you have to do, again, one time if you want to. As of now, they don't have a guiding option for the C-Stars. There is no point doing all that. You can skip this. I'll just show you what you can do with the C-Star. Yep. As of now, no. As of now, they don't. Nina, you can, okay, you can dither in Nina without a guide scope. There is some option like internal manual dither or something. It will let the camera mount move just a little bit and do it. You don't need a guide scope to run dither. That's another good option to consider Nina if you have. For C star, you need to go to mount. I think there is a station mode or something. So basically, your C star and Nina has to sit on the same Wi-Fi. And update Nina. You don't have to because I think you don't have Nina yet. But when you install the recent version, it already has a plugin capability called Alpaca, and that's what they are using to integrate C star with this. All you have to do, I don't have screens again. I'm just telling you, come to mount, and if your Nina and C star is on the same network, you drop down, you'll see either Alpaca or S50 on here on the list on the mounts. Yeah, on this screen, when you click this drop down, you will see C star on here if it is connected on the same mount. Once you connect your mount, now your mount itself is like a scope, and Nina will treat it as such. You have to do a 3-star polar alignment. I don't think Nina will support that, but I think there is something in in S50 similar to do a 3-star polar alignment. If not, you can try doing it with me. Yes, yes. So it has to be, yes, your S50 has to be in equatorial mode if you want to use this. It won't run on regular Altas. Yeah, they recently updated, so you can put a thing and wedge it. And, yeah. And once you connect your C star here, you go to your camera back. So the order is a little bit different. So you connect your mount and then go back to camera. You'll see C star there, and then connect it if it's not. I think it'll get connected by default when you connect. For yes, but you can do multi-target shoots, and you have more options through this than with your phone. You oh yeah, at 60 seconds or something with equatorial mode on. No, I don't think so. Yeah. So for S50, you need mount, camera, and your filter wheel. you can connect your filter wheel. It will, the C star filter wheel is getting connected to N.I.N.A through that. And then you can use the advanced sequencing option, exoplanet and all that through this, which is harder to do, I guess, with just the scope itself. That's all I have, unless we have any questions. Yeah. Yeah, those two those two videos are really good. Mhm. Comparison. I think this has obviously more options when you are doing sequencing and all, and you can integrate multiple. I don't know enough about SharpCap, but yeah, SharpCap, but you can integrate with your filter wheels, when to change, how to change it, your auto. Yeah, is it there? Okay, and then you have autofocus on this. I think it's better than even ASI Air is what I have seen on videos. And there are a few more things. I think I quickly passed through it, but on the imaging tab, yes. Oh, the one that I'm looking at right now is Quieter 4C. I believe it's from Mele, Mele, Quieter 4C. Yeah. N150, I believe. These are the fanless cooling things. Yeah. So this is the most recent one. I was talking to Ryan, I believe. He has one. The Quieter 2C is what he has. Mm-hmm. Well, N.I.N.A doesn't support Mac though. But I don't know about that. Yes, I'm planning to use one of the viewfinder things. Yes, yes. There is yeah, there is an option on Windows you can turn it on. So anytime you turn on your mini PC, it instantly throws a broad Wi-Fi that you can connect with anything. You don't need a internet connection or anything like that. There is one setting I was watching a video about it. No, you can buy, I guess, but it's already built in. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, uh, Michael, here here's another option. This is the aberration spectrum or something. So you can see that right now when you are taking your images. I don't know if that's there. Oh, mhm, right. Yeah.
Stuff you do. that. All right, everybody, we're gonna close the meeting. We will try to, guys, can you just give me a second, please? Everyone's talking in the background. So I'm just gonna close the meeting. Any last minute, business that wants to be brought up? Anyone? No? So, pick the plan here, Darcy. All right. All right. So thank you all for attending. And I'm going to end the meeting right now, and clear skies, everyone.